Hello to all fashion enthusiasts. This is Madison from Brandibay Fashion, and today, I take you into the enchanting world of the ROSEROOM by ISHA JAJODIA show during the Hyundai India Couture Week 2025. Imagine a light breath of visual poetry, a delicate whisper that reminds us of the beauty of introspection and self-love. The collection Whispers of Love to Myself is a true love letter to the modern woman, celebrating her inner strength and timeless elegance. It could be said that it is like receiving a gentle caress through fabric and design. Each piece tells a story, an emotional journey unfolding between the folds of dresses and the threads of lace. It is as if each seam whispered secrets from the past, but with a decidedly contemporary touch. In collaboration with Diacolor, the presentation was a silent ballet where each model seemed to float rather than walk. One feels transported into a waking dream, where time stands still and we rediscover our self-worth through creations that are much more than mere garments. They are subtle statements of self-love. In this era where flamboyance often reigns, ISHA JAJODIA chooses the path of refinement and subtlety, joining other emerging talents in India who boldly reinvent luxury fashion. The entire show was an ode to elegant simplicity, as if leafing through an ancient book where each page revealed a new facet of our being. A majestic event that captivated its audience through a staging in 4 movements. Dear Innocence, to my becoming, with love always, I am. Each tells a unique and poignant story, a true ballet of silk and lace. To begin this textile odyssey, Dear Innocence welcomes us with an almost palpable softness. Imagine pastel shades, delicate fabrics that caress the skin like a summer breeze. It is the dawn of a woman, one who discovers the world with wonder-filled eyes and a pure heart. The creations seem to float on the runway, much like waking dreams. Then comes To My Becoming, where the collection evolves into something more assertive. The colors become bolder, as if the young woman is beginning to forge her own path. A juxtaposition of refined nudes and resplendent ivory reflects this phase of personal growth. It is the moment when she starts to understand her place in the world and fully embrace her identity. With Love Always, then takes us on a whirlwind of emotions. Here, love is expressed through exuberant floral patterns and romantic cuts. Each piece is a hand-sewn love letter, evoking the consuming passions and infinite sweetness that only life can offer. One could almost smell the fragrances of a fresh bouquet emanating from the fabric. Finally, I Am marks the culmination of this inner transformation. The creations are adorned with dazzling gold, symbolizing the strength and resilience gained over the years. It is the woman who has embraced all her facets, vulnerability and power united in one magnificent being. This final chapter is a vibrant tribute to self-affirmation. Each outfit in the show is a silent confession, a fragment of soul exposed to the admiring gaze of the audience. One immediately thinks of the narrative techniques employed by the great names in the fashion world during this India Couture Week. It is powerful, it is moving. The collection amazed us with corsets adorned with finely sculpted lace, as if they had been crafted by an artisan of the past, yet with contemporary audacity. The custom lace tuxedos seemed straight out of a film noir, with that irresistible feminine touch. And what about the veiled capes? They floated around the models like a well-kept secret, adding a mystical dimension to the silhouettes. The skirts, slightly gathered, evoked the waves of a calm sea. A sea of style, of course. Chantilly lace was highlighted, wrapping us in a delicate dream. Transparent organza and translucent tulle worked together like a harmonious duo, revealing just enough. And to top it all off, Feather details added a touch of lightness, almost like a mischievous wink. But wait, there's more. The 18-karat gold accents elevated each piece to the rank of a precious work of art. Yes, my friends, it was literally gold on the runway. The silhouettes told a rich and complex story, soft as a whisper in the ear yet powerfully structured. They oscillated between delicacy and unwavering confidence. It was as if each outfit whispered, "Be sensitive but never weak." In summary, this collection was a vibrant tribute to the art of couture and to that quiet strength that is sensitivity. A true feast for the eyes and soul. I am eager to know what you think. The long-awaited moment. Tara Suteria, a true shooting star, took possession of the podium to deliver the grand finale with an outfit that thrilled everyone. She wore a sublime ivory organza skirt, crafted with care worthy of the greatest artisans. Each embroidery was a work of art in itself, revealing all the talent and precision of the hands that created it. But let's talk about the corset, a Baroque masterpiece plated in 18-karat gold, perfectly tailored after 4 months of hard work. It was as if every detail had been borrowed from French architecture, a tribute to an era when elegance reigned supreme. The delicate pearls and mother-of-pearl enamel flowers added that final touch that made all the difference. This was not simply an outfit. It was a declaration of love for traditional Indian craftsmanship. A piece that tells a story, a heritage destined to transcend ages. Imagine Indian artists working in their studios, their fingers dancing over each piece, creating something timeless. Imagine for a moment an ocean of lace. But beware, not just any lace. This one is not a mere finishing touch but the heroine of the evening. Where other designers might get lost in embellishments and extravagances, ISHA JAJODIA chooses the path of bold simplicity. One could almost say that the lace in this show is like a violin solo in a symphony, delicate yet undeniably powerful. And what about the metallic pieces and structured corsetry that accompanied these creations? It's as if the collection played hide and seek with our traditional expectations of femininity. It tells us, yes, I am soft, but I am also strong. It was a celebration of contradictions, where vulnerability rhymes with strength and each piece tells a unique story. ISHA JAJODIA herself described her creations as treasures to cherish and pass on. They are not only made to be worn on a special occasion but to be lived over time. It's as if each dress whispered sweet words of self-love to the wearer. Isn't that the true luxury? An outfit that makes you feel unique while telling your personal story. When discussing personal stories, wedding outfits take on a new dimension here. They become silent witnesses to individual narratives, pages of fabric that capture the very essence of the present moment and future memories. This is the magic of the ROSEROOM by ISHA JAJODIA show. A perfect harmony between past and present, wrapped in a majestic lace setting. So my fashion-loving friends, let us never forget that behind every thread lies an emotion, a memory, a dream. Let us keep this flame alive as we explore together the infinitely creative universe of style and design. I would like to thank you for listening to this analysis. If you enjoyed this review, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up, share your impressions in the comments, and offer your perspectives on the show. Enjoy the rest of the show, and see you soon for new discoveries.